All right, hello and welcome everyone to tonight's Sunday League here in Trackalicious. This is the round 2, the fall 2022 GT3 Championship here at Spa-Francorchamps. It's going to be a very exciting race here, as this is, once again, I know we just did a Silverstone, which was one of my favorite racetracks. This is also one of my favorite racetracks, so this is going to be extremely exciting. Currently, looking at this field, as we have about... Let me just take a quick look. We have about 39 drivers on the field today. It's going to be quite exciting. Weather conditions looking fairly dry. Other than that, this is going to be quite the race. Times that we're looking at right now, current pole position, we can get the times up. 2:17, 2:17.8. Sure, we'll see a little bit faster times than that come race time. But other than that, these drivers pushing on in the practice session right now. We got some people here. Hope everyone's doing awesome tonight. See, quite the diverse grid today. As I'm looking at it, Honda, Lexus. We're seeing not too many repeats. Lots of Hondas, that's for sure, which is exciting. One Ferrari. Okay, there's 3 Ferraris. But other than that, wow. 3 Ferraris, a couple BMWs. It's going to be a very interesting race here. Quite the diverse field. Like I say, 39 drivers here tonight participating. Be very exciting to see here. Once qualifying gets underway in about 3 minutes. And I guess I should probably get some desktop audio for you guys. There we go. Cool. So going to be a little bit of a lull here until we get into qualifying, I would imagine. Not too many drivers out on track. There's a few, though. Currently following with Marlowe. They're setting a lap here. Lapping currently in 4th position. 3/10 down from the... about 4/10 down, actually, from pole position. About 3/10 up currently on their lap. And the Audi there, number 3 Audi. I guess to explain today's race format, it's going to be a 90-minute race. And there will be 1 mandatory pit stop. No requirements whatsoever for taking fuel or tires or anything. Just going to be 1 straight pit stop. It's a very long pit stop here at Spa. It's probably the longest pit stop on the entire calendar. So drivers definitely going to be wanting to keep their nose clean, stay out of trouble, and not have to pit unnecessarily. See that Audi just absolutely storming through. I love to hear the Audi. Currently, Ricardo Rivera still holding pole. Marlowe increasing up to 3rd position with that last lap that he set. Looking like he is going to be improving on this lap as well. Track conditions not looking too ideal. Looking a little green out there. Hopefully by race conditions, it dries up a little bit. As you can see, there are some lines on the track there where rubber is being laid down. So. Looking a bit further down, we see here Pancheniak about to come across the line, 2 seconds up on their lap. It's going to put them up into P13. A 2:19.8. In the very, very purple Squadra Corsa Lamborghini. Number 76. We see it coming through the Eau Rouge turn complex here as qualifying comes to an end, or practice, excuse me, comes to an end. See here if Pancheniak does continue on this lap, as he looks like it's coming down to a slow, and I think he's going to abandon it. So we will be getting into qualifying here momentarily, as there he invalidates. A couple other drivers coming across the line now. Got Sundar. It looks like he is going to be setting a lap here. Currently sitting down in P11, about a 10th up on his lap. You can finish the lap on board with him, why not, as he is one of the last, if not the last driver to be setting a time currently. Handling that Ferrari very well, as it's pretty much all flat out for the rest of this lap up until you come to the heavy braking zone of the bus stop chicane here through Pouan. Takes it a little bit wide, but keeps it flat. Heavy braking, getting a little front end wanting to step out there, but Sundar keeping it under control. Gonna come across the line here. Not increased by much, actually, but we're immediately into a wet qualifying. So everything that I said before is completely a lie. This is going to be a wet qualifying. And I just saw you can see up there the weather conditions looking like it is not going to let up whatsoever by the end of qualifying. And can hop, as we see the split 2 drivers are going to be coming out first, silver plated drivers. Currently no one getting out on track, no one eager, as they are allowed to go on track. We see right now cars, well, somewhat coming out, but not really. But everyone waiting, as now we see cars coming out on the track. They're getting their final setup changes done there, as I don't think anyone was expecting a wet qualifying. Very exciting indeed here. See if these drivers can manage to keep it on the track. The split 2 drivers now come out. The 82 car of Provolone leading the way in the Porsche. See, there's a bit of spray behind him. You can hop on board just to see how that Porsche's coping here, coming through the Lacan section. And into Rivage. See if that car wants to step out. It just wants, yeah, that car does not want to turn. He just has to turn as much as he can there. That car struggling to get any front end grip. Gonna have to get plenty of heat into those tires for this lap. Provolone, though, a guy who definitely can do that. Coming through Pouan, having to downshift twice in Pouan there. And feathering the throttle on exit. Very, very tight and tough. See how he manages to do when he starts his flying lap. How's it going, SWWR Gaming? Glad to see you here tonight. Hope you're having a great night. Getting ready to end the weekend. Start the week off here. But no way better to end the weekend with a little bit of racing. Jason Provolone here getting on with his lap. As this outlap is already quite the long outlap, but made even more so by the fact that it is pouring buckets down. Provolone coming through the bus stop chicane, gonna take a quite aggressive, take the racing line approach, interestingly enough, not for a flying lap, but starts his lap now. Gonna be going into La Source. Fairly well composed. Not using too much of the track, though. Flat out all the way, as I want to hop on board as we go through the Eau Rouge and Radion complex. Having to lift off massively. Is he going to downshift? He downshifts, and he is off the track. That's an invalid lap. And I would assume he's not going to be the only driver doing so. We see behind him a Felion squirming his way through Eau Rouge onto the Kemmel Straight. Car directly behind him. Has the 60 car of B. Hopkins as well right behind him. Hopefully that doesn't impede him too much. But a Felion going very deep into the corner there. That 60 car looking a lot more composed, looking like they are going to be getting held up. Felion, though, coming through the Rivage complex into No Name. So far, fairly composed on their lap. Having to go down a couple gears, running very wide. Will they stay on the track? They do. Jump back on board here, as I think that just gives the best angle for the difficulty of these tracks. And we see I'm going to mispronounce that and I apologize. Jaguz Gaming, much appreciated. SWWR, wish you could have made this as well. Could have been one of the 39 drivers on this field currently, as we're finishing or watching the lap here of a Felion coming through the final corner, getting ready to go in the bus stop chicane, coming out of Blanchimont. Squirming through the final chicane, just trying their best to get everything they can out of that Lexus. Comes across the line. Going to be the fastest at a 2:38.9. I have no idea if that's good. We will find out soon enough. As we see there, Rise quickly beating that timeout by 2 seconds handedly. Chris Rise, very solid driver. Making that Audi look very nice in the rain here. You see them barrel down here as they're going to keep continuing on with their lap. Very well composed through the Eau Rouge Radillon complex. Rise getting on with the wet conditions very well, as the wet conditions typically separate the good drivers from the great. Braking extremely late into the Lecombe section. Very good though. Track, he's almost driving like that track isn't even wet. Gonna be coming into Rivage here. Down to second, just feathering the throttle throughout it, trying to get that front end to grip. Rear end trying to step out it. They have basically any chance it can on this lap, especially through No Name there. Very nice. Gonna be coming into Pouan here. Having to downshift, brake heavily, and just coast your way through there. Straightening the steering wheel up, as maybe could have been a bit faster through there. Their Delta is improving quite handedly though. Currently about almost a second up on their lap. And struggling a little bit there through the Stavelos, or through Fangnes and Stavelo. Gonna be flat out all the way to Blanchimont here in the wet conditions. That Audi, like I say, coping very well so far. Have a good night, SWR. Thank you for just hopping in at the beginning. Much appreciated. Provolone taking pole there. But will Chris Rise take it back? I think he will here. As Provolone only improving about a tenth. Aphelion improving on that time as well. Chris Rise, though, about to stomp the leaderboard, I think, and slam it on a pole with a 2:35.7. Like I say, driving that Audi very well, as they will be able to continue their lap here. See Vericosa and the Mercedes driving a very nice lap as well. 2.5 tenths down from Rise. Aphelion 4.5 tenths down from that. Aaron Kuhn also coping quite well with the McLaren. The McLaren, not the greatest car in the dry, but this car absolutely shines in the wet. I mean, it has so many different wet modes. This car, if you know how to drive it in the wet, this car can absolutely fly. And Jason Provolone getting bumped down the leaderboard quite a bit, taking pole position for but a moment. Now a second off the time. Currently about 7 tenths up on his Delta, looking to improve that even more so. Should be more than capable of doing that, I would imagine. Coming through Puan here, unless he invalidates. Still, these drivers very conservative through Puan. Ooh, having a little bit of a moment, I think, there. Into, is that the Fangnes? Other than that, though, looking very well composed, using all the track to his advantage there. Very difficult to do so. Don't want to come out too much onto the green stuff there, as it can unsettle the car massively. And pretty soon you'll be in the barrier if you go too far out there. So I would highly recommend not doing that. Provolone, though, going to be finishing his lap up here, about 1.5 seconds up on his Delta through the bus stop chicane. Going to be coming across the line here. I think he's going to put it on pole. Yes, he is. 2:35.6 sets the new precedent for lap times. Kenneth Smith, though, I think he's going to be challenged as well. The track improving massively throughout, it looks like, every single lap. And no more split 2 drivers should be starting their laps. We should start to see the split 1 drivers coming out now, and there are quite a few drivers on track. Ash, how's it going? Zoom, zoom, indeed. See these drivers flying in these wet conditions here. Kenneth Smith and the Aston Martin doing wonders right now. Going to be looking like he wants to set that pole position time. We'll stay with him for the rest of this lap. And I think let's see, who is the car leading? The 888 car, I think, is the car leading the charge for the split 1 drivers as they come out on track. So we will jump on board with them once we see this lap here conclude of Kenneth Smith. Very, very easy on the throttle through that final sector. Gonna improve. Is he gonna be on pole? He is. Takes pole position by about 1.9 tenths. Very solid lap. Eric Miller also showing what he can do in the wet. Putting himself up to 2nd place for right now. But now we'll see here. Jacob Padberg here. Taking that line that I was mentioning earlier, where your car is not going to be too thrilled about it. The car in front of them, Eric Gukasian, 2nd up on their lap. Might as well stick with them for the rest of the lap. And coming across the line, it will be P10 for Eric with a 2:36.4, and he gets out of the way promptly for the split 1 drivers starting their laps. Padberg can jump on board with him Looking like the rain has died down significantly. Still see a bit of standing water on track. Very confident through, too confident almost, but I think he did manage to keep that on the track. No, he didn't. He didn't validate his time. Padberg gonna have to go around the track one more time to set a lap. Marlowe invalidating as well behind that 13 car. I think see here, 13 car invalidated. Everyone pretty much has, I think everyone has invalidated so far. So, attacking the track a little bit too hard so far. See if these other drivers here. And it does actually look like the rain is coming down even harder now. Driver's going to be struggling much more in these conditions, as on board it doesn't look as bad as you see the correction there through No Name. Padberg fighting that Honda. Which the Honda, a very not good car in the rain. Very nice livery as well. White, blue, and teal. Yeah, for sure. They will need to switch to boats here. As aquaplaning is a serious matter when you start getting standing water on track. But no, the rain definitely increasing. A lot of these drivers, though, I think every driver invalidated, if I'm not mistaken. But that doesn't seem right. No, that isn't right. I think that the... Okay. No, that isn't right. Fallon here. Fallon. I think he is still on a valid lap. Just 10 seconds off the pace of pole position currently. Or is that 10 seconds? I'm not sure what this is 10 seconds off of. Race app, or race control being a little interesting sometimes when people set their first laps. So we will just see if any of these white plates do set a time. Padberg would have been the first one too. Already has crossed the line. Is on another lap and actually looks like he's invalidated that one as well. So drivers struggling to get a valid lap in right now. See Fallon coming in the bus stop chicane here. Close on his tail is, I think that's Sundar, if I'm not mistaken. Coming across the line though, Fallon does set a lap. Going to be P20. Not the greatest lap indeed. Looking like those track conditions getting worse by the minute. But we do see though, I guess, Marlowe setting pole. A lot of these drivers, I guess I've been blind of them. They're just storming up the field. Quinn Smith taking pole with a 231, so they're going to be coping very well with these conditions, actually. Maybe the track conditions not getting too much worse, just some drivers coping with it better than others. Marlowe in the Audi doing a great job so far. Currently 4/10 up on his lap, 4/10 off of pole as well. But Quinn Smith is also improving his lap. Thank you for the follows, guys. I think I missed one earlier, and it's March. Thank you. Much appreciated. Thanks, everyone, for joining. We're watching here the round 2 of Spa, or round 2, excuse me, of the Trackalicious Sunday League GT3s at Spa. Marlowe 8/10 up. Quinn Smith invalidating his lap. They're not going to be improving on this one. Looks like he will have time to set another one, though. Where can you join this league? That's a great question. So I'll throw up an exclamation Discord real quick. And you can feel free to head into the Trackalicious Discord, and then in the... Let me double check for you. I think it's in the... in the GT3 and GT4, I'm sure I'm not gonna, I don't know exactly how, but we have it on Race app or that's not what it's called anymore. I should have a script for that, but if you join the Discord and ask or pretty much anyone in there, I'm sure they will know. Unfortunately, I don't have it offhand. I definitely should, though. That's something I will have next time. And Marlowe, not quite taking pole position there. 400ths off of that delta. So, just missing out, unfortunately. But continuing on. See here, I'm Not Jimmy in the very pink Aston Martin. Currently about a 10th up on their delta. But into the second sector now. SimGrid, that's what it's called. I knew I would remember it eventually. If you look up Trackalicious on SimGrid as well, that's where you can find all of our leagues, as we have more leagues than that. We have Thursday leagues, we have rookie leagues, we have Sunday leagues for GT3s, mixed class, endurance races, leagues for everyone at all levels, basically. So feel free to check that out. Ricardo Rivera taking pole position for right now. The 141, as he's going to be, I think, improving on his lap as well. But in the meantime, Faluna, who I don't have their livery. They need to get that uploaded onto Google Drive. As I do have the most recent liveries downloaded, so... See here, I'm Not Jimmy, sort of leading this pack of cars. Not really a pack of cars, but 3 cars setting the pace for them. Doing not a terrible job of it. Currently a second half up on their delta. And they're 2 seconds off pole, so this will put them roughly around P4, P3, somewhere in that range. And qualifying has now come to an end. Anyone crossing the finish line now will not have another chance to set a lap. And he comes across the line in 5th position. Behind him there was Chronotis, and then I think Faluna. We see Faluna sending it up to P2. Padberg taking pole position from Rivera. Rivera not quite managing to hold on to that, as he didn't start another lap. Aliraza, P4. Marlowe going to be settling for P5. Then P6 now, actually, as Gage Gonzalez comes out of absolutely nowhere and slams it onto pole position in the Honda. Going to be 4 Hondas in the top 5. Basically, backing up what I was saying earlier, that the Honda is very solid on this track. Great lap there from Gage Gonzalez. Wish we could have seen the onboard of that. But also Padberg, I should say. He is not out of it yet. He's still on a flying lap. About halfway through, he's going to be the last one. He is not going to abandon this lap, as he wants to take that pole position. About 8/10 off. He is going to have to work wonders. Currently about 3/10 up on his delta. So going to be very difficult. Not many corners left to improve. I do not think he will be taking pole, unfortunately. But nonetheless, valiant effort. Going to be coming through Blanchimont, sliding his way through it. Into the bus stop chicane. Going to be improving, actually, by 9/10. He must have had a massive error in the bus stop last lap. And he's going to come across the line and just about take pole position. Not quite, though. Padberg going to be sticking in second place. Good effort, though. And it is going to be a wet race. Looking like it's going to get heavier and heavier throughout the session. It's going to be an hour and a half race. We will really quickly here. I need to grab a fan. I'll be just right back. Alrighty, and now we're back. I now have a fan. It does look like you can pick that up, though. There we go. As my computer doing a great job heating my room. Actually, I think... Is that just the mic fade out? No, it is the fan. As we just solve these audio issues really quickly, just give me 1 second. Can we get a little bit quieter or louder? I don't know. Quieter? Yes. Okay, perfect. And I don't know. Should be all good. Just let me know if you guys can hear that in the background. But we will do a quick grid rundown. Paula Brady, good luck, have fun, everyone. But as we don't have much, we got plenty of time. This is going to be an extremely long outlap, actually. So, starting from pole position here, we've Gage Gonzalez. Slamming it through pole at the end. We also have behind him, got Jacob Hadberg putting it in P2 in the Honda, the 888 Honda, doing a great job of so. Behind that's going to be the 23 BMW, a BMW in a storm of Hondas. Ricardo Rivera, Gage Gonzalez's teammate for the Puerto Rico E-Racing Club. And Ollie Raza taking P5, lining up next to Ollie Raza. It's going to be Marlowe. Behind that, I'm Not Jimmy in the 69 Aston Martin. Very pink indeed. Behind that, Quinn Smith in the 99 Lexus. Then we have William Collin. Behind that, Campbell. So Will Campbell in the Adventure Team. Niall Schletter going to be behind that. The number 11 Porsche, or excuse me, number 37 Porsche starting in P11. Then we'll have Mike Burkhoff behind that in the lovely Kingfisher Ferrari. And also in the Kingfisher Ferrari, we have Sundar. Behind that we have Fallen. And then we have the other Kingfisher Ferrari, the 3 Ferraris on the grid, all starting within 4 positions of each other. See how that ends up. If there are any team orders amongst them. Oxborough going to be starting in P16. Behind that, going to be for the beginning or the start of the silver plates. We have Kenneth Smith. Behind that, it's going to be Eric Miller. Then we have Vericosa. P20, going to be Ricky Scott. And that Knox Racing McLaren. Behind that, going to be Rogers. DeMarcus Rogers. In that 47 Honda, Professor Kanotis. Behind that, in the BMW Adventure Team as well, Provolone in the 82 Porsche. Don't know why that escaped my brain. Chris Rise putting a fairly decent lap in there in that 210 Audi. See how he manages to hold up. Aphelion in the 141 Lexus. We'll see how they will do. Starting in P25. Got quite a bit of work to do, as we've seen quite a bit from them in the past. Behind that, Eric Gukasian. Going to be starting in P26. then Andy Oak as well, followed up by Aaron Kuhn in P28. And I do actually kind of got to get a hustle on. We're running out of lap. Pancheniak going to be starting in P29. Lackney in P30. Tomzik P31. Hopkins, Bruce Hopkins, that is, in P32 in the 60 Aston Martin. And behind that we have Stant in the 604. Sarah Stant. Not sure where they are. There we go. Camera changing finally. Then Elmer. Followed up by that we have Wolfie. Then Rocky Rocco. And Smelly. Sapien going to be starting in the pits, unfortunately, and starting in the back of the grid, or P39 in the pits as well. It's going to be the 777 Porsche of Cruz. Not sure what happened to them there, if they forgot to hit drive or whatnot. No drivers having any penalties, though. As we will see these drivers getting ready for this wet race. Going to be coming through Blanchimont now. These drivers eager to get underway for this hour-and-a-half race. So eager, in fact, that got a little bit of lag there. Padberg going through the wall. Hopefully that doesn't continue. As the spray at the start of this race will be quite intense. Cars, though, have quite a long way to go till we go green. I know the start-finish straight we're currently on is not the actual starting flag. You're going to be rounding the first corner of La Sauce first, and then the first corner of the race will be the Eau Rouge Radillon Complex. And we'll keep an eye here up at the front of the field. So we see the Hondas, just the absolute swarm of them. Let's say 4 of them in 5 positions, as we're going to be slowly getting ready to go green here. Not too much left of this start, or of this straight. Driver's going to be compressing Noah's Ark formation here, 2x2. Going to be getting ready to go green here at Spa-Francorchamps for the round 2 of the Sunday League. Amazing start from Gage Gonzalez. Padberg caught sleeping a little bit. Faluna going to be right on his tail as they all tuck into Eau Rouge and Radillon. Everyone's so far clean in the front, keeping their nose so far out of trouble. We see yellow flag of Niall Schletter going off the track, heading towards the barrier. Luckily going to be keeping out of it. We see a yellow flag, though, of I'm Not Jimmy, looking like they didn't have as much luck. We see cars spinning around. Oh, no. This is probably going to be a restart. Ooh. I would imagine we're going to have a restart here. As we see from P22 all the way down to P37 getting involved in this. That being quite the incident. Driver still just now recovering from that. We'll see if we do have a race restart. Some drivers coming off quite well from that, though. I mean, honestly, the field not too far spread apart. The 357 car looking like they were the first one involved, or the first one to get recovered out of that. Let's hop on board with them. A lot of drivers probably taking quite a bit of damage, though. Kenneth Smith there, the Aston Martin. We can get a little bit closer, see if they have it. Yep, I can see on their front diffuser there. That car not looking in the greatest condition, unfortunately. And in front of them, Sarah Stant, I think, was the first one to avoid that collision, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not, though. Actually, as we see No, definitely not. Never mind. Sarah Stan actually looking like she made it through that unharmed, but Andy Oak in front of her, not so lucky. Bonnet hanging on by a thread there. Not sure why he's racing. I think he's probably going to end up going into the pits, but we'll see. That was a very unfortunate race start. 4 drivers returning the pits at the beginning. It's just not what you want to see at the beginning of a race. Very amateur, I hate to say. But up the field, though. Now, Schletter going to be going around the outside here. I guess we aren't. Oops, hit my mic. We're not going to be having a restart, it looks like, as I would imagine we would have had one already. Finishing the first lap, though. Niall Schletter coming around the outside there of Oxborough. Gets that. Actually, excuse me, that was Engelman. Going to be chasing down Oxborough now. Going to have a fairly decent run coming onto the Kemmel Straight. And we see Mike Burkov, that is, off on the grass, and we see another car off into the barrier, and that it was Niall Schletter, the car we were on board with. And honestly, I want to hop on board and see what happened there. Oh, that was a mistake. I went back. Alright, well, we're not going to see it because I didn't have my settings right, but that's okay. We see just how bad that spray is, though, and the under of the map as well, but we see drivers retiring from this incident, quite a few of them actually. A lot of drivers coming into the pits. We see, I think, well, I don't know who is retired at this point actually, but I think a lot of drivers coming in just off of probably protest to get that restarted. Gage Gonzalez pulling ahead in the lead even more than he otherwise would have. We see there Oxborough and I'm Not Jimmy battling, actually. Can hop down to there. And we actually currently have 10 drivers in the pits, unfortunately. Hopefully they all do manage to come out, but we'll see how many actually do. And Oxborough here getting absolutely hunted down by I'm Not Jimmy. Can hop on board with him. I'm Not Jimmy. He's looking like his Aston Martin is not in the best condition. And actually we see, oh man, even more contact. Go back and see what happened there as we see it too wide through a rouge. And that's not a rouge, that's the back sector of the track. See, 3 wide, 3 does not go into 1, 2 cars, oh, 3 cars getting absolutely annihilated. Not the greatest racing here tonight, unfortunately, at Spa. See, pretty much half of the field getting caught up in an incident here in the first 10 minutes of this race. That's never what you want to see. And coming back onto the track here, we're going to see a little bit of 2 wide action, actually. Whoa! We see, I think that was Chris Scott. Or, oh no, I went off board. Okay, well, I think that was, yes, anyways. A lot of drivers in the pits. A lot of drivers looking like they're not coming out of the pits. We see Quinn Smith getting hunted down here by Marlowe through Rivage. Going to be going into No Name. Quite the tricky sector to overtake, especially in the wet. See more yellow flags. Doesn't look like that was anything too serious, though. And other than that, this race, like I said, not the greatest, unfortunately, from some of these drivers. A lot of them going to be wanting to forget this race ever happened, I would imagine. I'm sure we can go back at the start and watch those replays at some point here, but that's a ways in the future. As like I said, I do not think we're going to be in a restart, as honestly, I still was under the impression that we might. And I still am, honestly, as we have up to P25 in the pits. Faluna, though, for now. Chasing down Marlowe. Marlowe chasing down Quinn Smith. Cars ahead of that is going to be Ollie Raza and Padberg. We can actually get that delta up, as that other timing is not too relevant. See, 3 wide into turn 1. Just for a mere moment there. And that is lapped cars actually already on what is lap 3. It's never what you want to see. We see Sundar there in the barrier as well. See if we can go back and see what happened. Going into Puan. Little too hot. Just loses the back end, that Ferrari. Once that car goes, it goes, and it's so hard to recover. And Sundar, I think, returning to the pits maybe. I'm not sure, as let's take a quick look. No, I think he actually did stay out on track. Okay. Mike Burkov here, coming out on track through the pits, I think. Oh, and actually Sundar, I think, just left. I'm not seeing him on the timing screen anymore. And Aaron Gakosian currently chasing down Andy Oak here. And then Sapien, actually, I want to see chasing down Stant. Both of these AMGs here are going to be... Oh, no, we see yellow flag here. I want to see what happened between Eric Gakosian here. It's Eric Gakosian. Oh, no, Eric Gakosian did nothing. Oh, except lose the back end. And go into the barrier. Behind that, I think that was... Who was that? Vericosa. That was there, losing it as well on their own. And Oxborough as well, losing it. A lot of these drivers in the first 10 minutes here struggling with these wet conditions and a full fuel load. And we actually see Aaron Kuhn, a silver plate driver, up in P11 currently. His car looking... Oh, no. Gage Gonzalez's round. Very spicy rejoin there. Can see what happened. I think that was just another self-inflicted error. Coming through the bus stop chicane. He just gets on the throttle too early and pirouettes. And has to wait to rejoin the track. Coming back in about 5th position. Even catching Gage Gonzalez out. The driver who set pole position in these conditions. Tricky conditions all the way around. Mike Burkov off again. And looks like he might be off for good. Padberg off. What is... This is ridiculous. See what happened to Padberg. Did exactly what Eric Gakosian did. Goes flat out, gets a little bit of wheel spin coming onto the Kemmel straight. And honestly, in my opinion, I don't know if that's the most realistic crash, because that is an uphill sector, but I mean, it's, who knows? It's wet. Not having enough traction control, who knows what's going on. That's why I'm not out there. That's why I'm just talking over it. Thank you, Leo, for the follow. Much appreciated. These absolutely carnage of conditions here. We see Marlowe chasing down Quinn Smith. These drivers handling so far so good. Gage Gonzalez behind that was in first position. Oh, and he's closing, and he's going to be losing it. Oh, no. Marlowe I want to hop on board with that and just see that was such an easy mistake to make there. Just getting caught up in the spray. See the car in front of you, you just don't see your braking point. Ends up saving it, trying to at least. Does a really good job of it, honestly. Rejoins the track. And Marlowe in 5th position now. So, and under heavy pressure from William Collin. But that was just such an easy mistake to make. As you saw the spray getting caught up in there, just your vision is so limited. A little bit further down, I'm Not Jimmy chasing Jet Engelman. Gonna be trying to go round the outside of Blanchiment in these conditions. Very brave indeed. Definitely thinks twice of that one. And coming into the bus stop chicane, we will see not a move yet, as I'm Not Jimmy with that damage. Looking like he doesn't quite have the pace to catch up with Engelman right now. Luckily, haven't seen too many more yellow flags yet. Hopefully I don't jinx that. But looking like these drivers are actually starting to cope with the conditions fairly well. Not sure if that rain is letting up. It's actually, we can check real quick, and no, it's not. And Ollie Raza supporter in chat. Currently, Ollie Raza leading this race in the Honda. Why don't we hop on board with him for a little bit as we are going through Rivage here into No Name. That car wanting to fight him that entire time. Drifting his way through No Name. Trying to use that throttle to rotate the car, not the steering wheel. It's extremely impressive driving. So easy to make a mistake, as I said earlier. Twitching, and he's gonna catch the drift, and he's gonna not catch the drift. Oh no, Ollie Raza. And he's gonna rejoin the track in a really bad moment, forcing Gage Gonzalez off. But these drivers coping. So far, he's in a terrible spot. Ollie Raza is. Oh no, he is in an absolutely awful spot. He manages to come back onto the track without collecting anybody somehow. Yes, you did, Spool. Yes, you did. Faluna, we have a Faluna fan as well. Muff, they were benefiting from that as well, currently putting them into a podium position, but that means nothing with, currently we're 25 minutes into this. It was an hour and a half race. We're 15 minutes into this race. And we also see a yellow flag here, just car going slow actually, Rocco. But this is going to be quite the race, I will imagine. There's a long ways to go. Currently, Marlowe chasing down Faluna. Yeah, this carnage is insane. I wish there wasn't as much as there was, as currently we started with 39 drivers and we are down to 33, and that's never what you want to see from the start of a race. Unfortunately, just that's... Like I said, I don't want to say amateur, but that is definitely needs to be addressed after with the drivers. That was, I'm not sure what caused that incident. And honestly, I don't know if I want to know. I don't even know if I want to go back and point fingers there. Show it on stream. I don't think there's any real benefit of it, actually. So I don't think we will check that out later. More yellow flags on track. Just for a second, looks like an offing. Oh, actually, Tomzik going slow. Looks like they hit the barrier. Marlowe staying pretty close behind Faluna for right now. Both of them handling these conditions well. At least well enough for right now for the first, like I say, 20 minutes of this race. Still an hour and 10 minutes left to go. These drivers are going to be physically and mentally exhausted at the end of this race, as am I will imagine. And following very close. We'll hop on board again, as I think this is when we hopped on board with Ollie Raza, where he lost it. And now Ollie Raza, I guess I can give a quick update. sitting down in P6, actually, you can see there in your top left. Marlowe, though, just waiting, being patient, as that's really all you can do in this. This is an endurance race. The fact that, yeah, there's an hour and a half left, and so many people have made mistakes like it was the last lap of the race. You hate to see it. And that BMW looking very planted through that third sector. Pulling away pretty massively from Marlowe, but Marlowe tends to have a better first sector, and looking like he will close up. First sector is where you're probably going to have the best chance to overtake, having to downshift into Blanchimont, that track. And we see Faluna there going off. This is going to give every opportunity to Marlowe. But it's so difficult to take, even with an error like that. These conditions, besting everyone it seems, but he's going to have a great run down around the outside, and he's going to go for turn one. I think he's going to have it fully sealed by the time they get there. Yes, he is. See cars coming out of the pits as well. Very nice overtake there indeed from Marlowe. We'll see if Gonzalez, or excuse me, not Gonzalez. We'll see if Faluna can manage to keep up with Marlowe. But as I said before, Marlowe been looking very strong through the sector one. Has already pulled about over a half a second. Wow, and twitching through onto the Camel straight there. That's not going to help him pull away whatsoever, but keeping that Audi under control. Any chance of a dry line forming? No. I don't mean to be blunt, but no. It is pouring buckets, and the rain is not going to be stopping anytime soon, I would imagine. So this is going to continue. I don't think there will be a dry line forming, at least for the next 30 minutes. We'll see after that. These drivers, as I said, just struggling to cope with these conditions. This is actually like somewhat unreal, actually. These very tricky to drive in these indeed. I'll hop on board again here with Marlowe. Actually, we'll hop on board with Gage Gonzalez, who had a bit of an error earlier. And he is now currently chasing down the leader, Quinn Smith. Not sure he'll be able to get anything done anytime soon. Quinn Smith been keeping it very well together, but just as you can see, well, you can see nothing is kind of the issue. Braking boards are gone. On the left-hand side there, I didn't see any braking markers. So these drivers gonna be guessing. And yeah, these conditions are just miserable for these drivers. There was William Campbell there getting lapped. Thank you, Mobius, for the follow. Thank you very much, Shoot. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Thank you. Back here with Gage Gonzalez, though. A lot of drivers, I will say one thing about all this carnage that has unfolded. I have no idea where everyone's going to be coming out when these pit stops unfold. A lot of drivers taking repairs for damage. A lot of drivers not. And a lot of drivers... Whoa! Gage Gonzalez there. Getting onto the curbs, chasing down Quinn Smith, lighting up those rears that he did earlier, not in the same spot, and almost pirouetting once more. I don't think we've seen too many mistakes recently. Any predictions on podium? Absolutely not. This race can go absolutely anywhere. For all intents and purposes, I'm pretty sure... Let me think here. Anyone currently based in, I would say up to about probably P11, P12, I would say even up to P13 has a chance of being on this podium. And anyone can be on either podium is how I'm going to be looking at. Like, this is anyone's race right now. We have an hour left. This is Drive to Survive at its finest. Gage Gonzalez. Oh, Faluna's round! See what happened here, but I think it's the exact same mistake that so many drivers have made thus far. Coming around the Stavolo. Actually, I don't think we've seen too many mistakes like that, but he's just turning around the first Stavolo, and, well, he didn't stop turning. The car just not wanting to stop. Ollie Raza back to P4 off the track there, and just squirming around. Quinn Smith side by side, though, with Gage Gonzalez, getting overtaken, but wanting to fight back around the outside. See if he can get that switchback done here. It's going to be very tricky to do so in these conditions, but if he does, he doesn't. Okay, never mind. Gage Gonzalez taking that lead back, as he did have the lead earlier, but made a bit of a mistake to lose it. Had a small pirouette incident, but it happens, as I said. It's happened to almost everyone, it seems like, in this race. Gage Gonzalez is going to be pushing to the limit to try to keep up here with Gage Gonzalez, who's been coping with these wet conditions the best so far, but as I said before, still making mistakes. Very reminiscent, I guess, of the Singapore race today, just a lot wetter, if you guys watch Formula One. And actually, this is one of the only battles on track, unfortunately. Lexus is really good in the crazy. No, I would not try to overtake at Radeon. I mean, yes, I would. I'll take that back. Absolutely, I would. If I had the opportunity, I would go for it. But it's very risky, and you need to know that you have it done. As we see here, I think exactly what I was thinking happens, basically. I think you just have to be so careful through here. I mean, going one wide, and I know that doesn't even make any sense, but they're having to go offline just slightly with that rejoining car, and he goes off into the barrier. It's just so risky to try to take an offline to anyone, as there's basically nothing but puddles off of the racing line, and even on the racing line. Yeah, I don't think you were the only the only one that hit that puddle either. As that's where I think we see Eric Gukasian go around there. We've seen quite a few drivers around there. That corner has been an absolute nightmare so far, but here we see Ricky Scott, who ended up in the wall a little bit, is now battling with Kenneth Smith, losing out a little bit there, and now under pressure from the 263 car of Sapien. The McLaren very good in the rain, but this BMW looking a bit faster. Going to be trying to go around the outside of Stavolo, and yeah, Ricky Scott there backs out and basically gives that position to Sapien. Oh, that wasn't a position, was it? That was Andy Oak in a BMW for lapped position. Disregard everything I just said. Sorry. Now we see Sapien chasing down Ricky Scott here. Sapien, I think, suffering. I think Sapien actually hitting that exact same puddle. We do see a dry line starting to form on some parts of this track, but not really many, it looks like. Yeah, that'll happen. Yeah, these conditions have just been so extremely tricky for these drivers so far. A lot of drivers in chat, as they've seemed to have migrated over here after, well, unfortunately, meeting a wall at some point, or having a similar excursion here that Sarah Stant had. And I think there might have been a bit of contact involved in that. Not sure, as we can see again. No, there wasn't. She just going very deep into the corner, car not wanting to stop, and then pirouetting. I think she just got on the throttle a little too early there, and Eric Gakassian, what happened here? We can go back and check it out. Going through Blanchiment, once again, turns the wheel, and, well, the wheel doesn't do anything, it turns out sometimes. You hit a puddle, and you just end up having no traction whatsoever and losing it. And there isn't really any battles on track right now, unfortunately. A lot of lap traffic. Can look a little bit further down, I guess. A lot of people in their own window, though. Aha! Sapien chasing down Ricky Scott. Now we have some action. Sapien been showing some pace so far. Just unfortunately met the wall. Who is leading for Div 2? Currently we have Aaron Kuhn leading for Div 2 in P10. I don't think he has made much contact with the barrier, if any, yet. So we can see here, go to the little bit closer camera view. I don't see any damage on there. I think he has been clean thus far. Oxborough behind him. His teammate not looking so lucky at front end of the car. Oxborough, I'm not sure if he's going to fight with his teammate. Oxborough's got some damage right now, and it's going to be very difficult, I think, to get some pace on him, but we'll see. Team orders come into play or not. Sapien still chasing down Ricky Scott. As I said before, it's just so difficult to overtake in these conditions. Going offline is not advisable, to say the least. Going offline typically results in, well, death, unfortunately. Just to put it bluntly. Sapien just waiting, biding his time. He knows, don't do anything stupid. That's how you make a crash. I mean, even if you don't do anything stupid, you still have a risk of doing a crash, so just keep it as clean as possible. And as I said there, Eric Gakassian at Pouon Blanchiment once again, having a fairly similar line to what he did the lap before. Just getting on that green stuff, and there is absolutely no traction out there. And even following in these conditions is so difficult, as we'll hop on board here just to show you why. So you can see, well, as I said before, you can pretty much see nothing. And now Aaron Kuhn, who was leading Div 2, no longer. Just has a self-inflicted error. Does, well, I mean, what pretty much almost every driver's done so far, it seems like. We see here Sapien now going to have an opportunity on Ricky Scott coming through the Stavelos. Will he take the opportunity, though? Not quite. He backs out of it very early. But Ricky Scott goes offline, and as we've seen before, getting back online is a challenge. You have to be so cautious, and Sapien just waiting and biding his time for Aaron to make a mistake there. And, Ricky to make a mistake there, and Ricky doing it. Yes, Spool, you need to stop mentioning drivers. That's, you definitely have jinxed almost everyone. I think everyone that you've, asked to see. King C, thank you very much for the follow. And another follow as well. Oh, I think it just repeated itself. Oh, no, never mind. Impacted, refined as well. Thank you. And even more follows from Well-Eyes. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. Enjoying this absolutely carnage of a race here at these wet conditions at Spa with an hour left still of this race. Plenty of time left. It's going great, Impact. How about you? So far, have had a very chill day. I watched the F1 race in the morning, then I went to the gym, and now I'm here to watch some even more racing. So, cannot complain whatsoever. And Quinn Smith, actually, looking up at him here with his pink, very, very pink mirrors. I don't know how I didn't see that before. It's going to be... Oh, and there's a massive step out from Gage Gonzalez and William Collin. I think going into the wall, it looks like the 48 car. Oh, no, and then Faluna getting involved as well. No, it's just the game being weird. Slow Hands, how's it going? How's it going? Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Impact. There definitely has been some good racing so far. A lot of drivers, though, struggling to find racing, as we see here, just taking any line that isn't the racing. Even taking the racing line is dangerous. Quinn Smith there having a bit of a moment coming onto the Radion, or coming out of Radion onto the Kimmel Straight, but looking like he actually... Sorry, okay, the game's just being weird. No problem, King C. Thank you for being here. And actually, I'm not Jimmy here. Side by side with... Is that Cruz? Oh, that was Eric Gakassian in the 5 BMW. Gets by him round the outside on the Kimmel Straight. Honestly, let's go back and see. As he just had the overspeed on Eric. And managed to seal that. Eric yielding before the turn, knowing that if he stayed on that line, he would probably not make the corner. Yeah, I agree, Spool. I don't know how they're taking so much curb, especially, I mean, like, these guys, Gage Gonzalez, Quinn Smith, these guys are essentially aliens, though, when it comes to driving, and so far they've shown that they can handle these wet weather conditions quite well. Gage Gonzalez having a pirouette moment and still retaining first place. Well, he lost first place, but he fought it back. So just so far, quite the drive here from Gage Gonzalez. As I was looking at Aaron Kuhn, or Quinn Smith, but I want to look at Aaron Kuhn as we see Professor Chronotis weaving all over the straight. I'm not sure that's the best thing to do in these conditions. Going into the corner, he's extremely deep. Goes over the speed hump. And Aaron Kuhn managing to keep it on the track. Professor Chronotis definitely getting a track cut penalty. But Ali Raza, oh no. He's round at the Radion. Looks like that was just a completely accident. Was that Radion or was that... Excuse me, I think that was Blanchima? That was Blanchima. Okay, my bad. But Ali Raza just having a moment on his own, losing P4 all the way, no, not all the way, dropping down to P5. Looks like Padberg's about to overtake him as well. Jumping back down here to Aaron Kuhn and Chronotis. Wait. What happened to the other guy? Well, Aaron Kuhn getting by Chronotis. Wasn't there someone else? Anyways, getting by with ease there, actually. And now we see Padberg hot on the tail of Eric getting by, but chasing down Faluna as well. Eric getting out of the way before Radion. This is not going to be the best line onto it, as he's going to... I think he might... he's actually going to get lapped as well by Ali Raza. Ali Raza not wasting any time to get that lap done, taking off the track, probably taking a track cut for that as well. And Eric Gakassian, as you see there, just squirming his way through that turn. But Ali Raza gonna... Honestly, I don't know if this is... Okay, good. I don't think that would have been the greatest overtake if Ali Raza had straight-lined Rouge Radion and then overtook Padberg, but luckily he didn't. Padberg holding on, and then Ali Raza getting a little out of control, coming through the Lacombe section, then into Ravage, and No Name they go. Just tiptoeing their way through this track. Yes, these guys' previous teammates. Ali Raza, though, still, as he steps out into Pouon, he is struggling with these conditions immensely. As there still is 51 minutes left in this race, he might just want to think about getting his head down and just kind of staying alive. As that would be where my mindset would be right now. And just driving... because you have a long ways to go, and basically any position that you overtake means almost nothing, because you can just spin and lose it all. But you gotta win the race eventually, and they might not spin, so you gotta overtake too. It's that balancing game. But Ali Raza here, being very patient, it seems like. Jump on board with him, why not again? Just to see the spray is twitching going into the bus stop chicane. And as I said before, there are no brake markers whatsoever to tell, and Ali Raza going to be coming into the pits here to take his pit stop. Feels like he probably has more pace and wants to get out into some clean air. See how that works for him. Padberg continuing on. Going to be storming on into these lapped cars here. Faluna looking like they're getting by these lapped cars fairly easily. And a bit further down, actually, these are there in the pits, never mind. Padberg's still doing a great job, though. Not quite getting around, I think. Yep, lap cars getting out of the way very nicely for him, actually. As they don't have to do that, but it is the respectful thing to do if you care about that sort of thing. William Collin, 0.8 seconds behind. Is that Fallon? Or Ali Raza? I'm not sure. Anyways, they're in the pits. Doesn't matter. Here we see two side-by-side, Jet Engelman and Mike Burkov. Unfortunately, not on the same lap. In fact, I think Jet Engelman 2 laps ahead of Mike Burkov even. And continuing on. Why don't we do some laps here with Gage Gonzalez just to see how the leader is dealing with these conditions. Seeming like he has a routine and a rhythm down so far as he's coming up to Aphelion. See how he'll do lapping that traffic. Aphelion taking not the ideal racing line. Gage Gonzalez going to be making plenty of adjustments on the steering wheel, as you see. Different traction control adjustments, different brake bias. A very experienced driver. Closes up to Aphelion. Looking like he wants to get that overtake done before he gets to the Kemmel Straight. But I don't think he's going to have the opportunity, as Aphelion keeps their foot in it. Forces him to lift. And he's just going to go for the alternate line. Aphelion taking to the outside of the track. Gage Gonzalez getting by. Oh, oh no! What a save! What a save! As we see Gage Gonzalez here taking the offline just slightly and having a massive slide. at essentially top speed, that could have ended in disaster for Gage Gonzalez. That could have ended so easily in the barrier. And we see someone in the barrier, Jet Engelman. Oh no! And I think that was actually his teammate Mike Burkov. That was. Let's see what happened there. I think he just pirouetted on turn 1. Oh, and there's contact between teammates. Oh, that's rule number 1 of motor racing. You never hit your teammates. Jet Engelman going slowly, unfortunately. I don't know why there's a yellow flag for him, but he's going to be probably not too thrilled with himself after that. That was just an unlucky incident. We see Quinn Smith there just now getting around to Felion. About 4 seconds behind Gage Gonzalez. But yes, that was a massive Sergio Perez moment. That was an extremely well-controlled drift. Gage Gonzalez probably going to need a new pair of pants after that one, but I don't blame him. That being, there's going to be some more skid marks in his trousers than there will be on the track, I can imagine. But it's all good here as he's coming up to more lap traffic of Chris Rise. Chris Rise sitting down in P17. We see here, Cruz going to be chasing down Ollie Raza, actually. See if anything comes of this. Cruz yet to pit. Ollie Raza has taken their pit, so actually I think Ollie Raza coming out in front of him. Current leader of our Division 2 is going to be Aaron Kuhn, who wasn't leading it, or who was leading it, then they weren't leading it, and now they are again. So very nice drive so far from Aaron Kuhn. P2 of Split 2 is going to be Professor Conotis, then Ricardo Sapien. What's the rain outlook? That's a great question. It's just slightly better. Which doesn't mean much. Still going to be sending buckets down, I will imagine. Rain not going to be letting up too much in the next 30 minutes here, so these drivers going to have to be, well, hopefully they're going to be used to these conditions by now. As we are about halfway into this race. This race not starting off great, as we started with 39 drivers, unfortunately down to 32 after a massive lap 1 incident. That was very unfortunate. And yeah, we should start seeing some pits come in soon here, as we saw Ollie Raza come into the pits earlier. Will Collin here, he has as well gotten their pit done. And Marlowe in right now. I think Quinn Smith, no, not quite. These top drivers, though, going to probably be thinking of it sometime soon. Faluna, 28 seconds down from Quinn Smith. Sitting in P3 right now. So position 1 and 2 have a very comfortable gap to P3 right now. Padberg trailing about 3 seconds behind that, 4 seconds now. And Marlowe exiting the pits here. There's fresh fuel and fresh repairs. Eric Gakassian here chasing down Sarah Stant. Eric's BMW not looking in the greatest condition. Don't know how much that would sell for on the market for resale. It's going to need a little bit of body work done to it. That AMG, though, keeping that gap from Eric for right now. Eric is going to be battling not only the conditions, but a less than ideal aerodynamic car. I don't think he's got that thing in a wind tunnel just yet. Oxborough yellow flag for no reason. I think he just came out of pits. Other than that, not seeing too many battles on track right now. It does look good. Let's go back and appreciate Eric's livery a little bit. And we can also see the awesome livery there of Mike Burkov going by, made by Jet Engelman, the Kingfisher Ferrari. But I think Eric making that livery himself. Showing off love for our awesome community members of Area 52, Box 3949, and others. Showing love for the community, as the community has shown love to us. So we always love to show it back. And if you guys are involved in any communities and would like to, you know, join Trackalicious Leagues, we are also, we'd love to hear about these other communities. We love to support other communities with, you know, well, in any way we really can. We see Mike Burkov here getting by. I think that was Sarah Stant. Gonna be going too wide on the Kemmel Straight. Mike Burkov getting that overtake done very handedly. No, not overtake. Getting that lap done. Wait. No, he's getting unlapped. Mike Burkov not having the greatest race. Excuse me. Sarah Stant P19, Mike Burkov P25. Mike Burkov putting himself on almost the same lap. Marlowe here chasing down Oxborough in that Audi. Marlowe has pit thus far. Oxborough yet to. Marlowe going to have probably the superior pace, I would imagine, as he's already caught up with Oxborough after coming out of the pits. Marlowe, I think, was sitting in P3 or 4. Not sure if he had any mistakes or not. We see there's some skid marks going off the track as, well, there's been quite a few drivers to do that on almost every corner on this track. Marlowe, though, struggling for pace, it looks like. Oxborough keeping ahead for now. And McLaren looking quite strong in the wet. Although Marlowe's been piloting that Audi very well. Can jump on board with them. As every time I've jumped on board, it basically has ended in disaster for the driver that I've gone on board with. So what could possibly go wrong? Now, Marlowe chasing down Oxborough. Number 3 Audi chasing down the 820 McLaren. Can barely see anything here. Closing up massively through Blanchimont. And he's going to try to have the look around the outside into the bus stop. He's going to have the racing line. Oxborough going to have to brake way early, but still manages to keep his nose in it. Tries to stick it out around the outside, but is not going to have the momentum there. Marlowe getting that overtake done. Oxborough is going to try to challenge it back. Down the inside here. Not quite. Marlowe late enough on the brakes to keep that position. Marlowe securing P5 from Oxborough there. I don't know if I want in your cockpit, GAT. Or Dave. There we go. Dave's better. Yeah. Dave, I don't know if I want to be in your cockpit. And we see here William Collin taking a bit of an excursion. Drivers making their pit stops here. Ken Smith. And that looks like ahead of them Professor Kronitis as well. Luna now 31 seconds down to Quinn Smith. Quinn Smith still sticking with Gage Gonzalez. Both of them just basically keeping their pace, well, better than everyone else's. Which is, you know, kind of the goal, I guess. Gage Gonzalez is in the pits, not around. Got very excited for no reason there. Quinn Smith, our current leader of this race, gonna be having some free air. This is a 4 in sight to him, a clear windshield. And he immediately goes and has Whoa! We're watching that one again. We can see here just on the curbing and the wheel absolutely everywhere. And then the wheels everywhere again. And 2 massive saves there. And now we're under the map again. Quinn Smith drifting through these corners. Wow, these track conditions, the weather says it's getting better. But I don't think Quinn Smith would agree for that. Through No Name there. Doing a great job of it. Currently leading this race, as I said before, Gage Gonzalez is essentially our actual race leader, barring any massive mistakes. Still 37 minutes into this race to go. Okay, well that's pretty impressive, Eric. I guess the man's Quinn Smith is just a drift legend. The Lexus, and definitely a car known for its oversteer, said absolutely nobody ever. Yeah, the Lexus, a traditionally extremely understeery car. So I guess that's why he doesn't drive, oh no, we see more yellow flags here. I think, people rejoining the track. Looks like, maybe? I don't know, that was something. But yeah, nothing like the, well, let's just say it's nothing like the Maserati. That's insane. So his setups are designed for him then. Well, he does a great job of it, no doubt there. Looking back a bit further, we see Jelson Cruz here, the Rockefeller 777 Porsche car, chasing down William Collin. I think William Collin had a bit of a mistake to fall into the clutches here of him. And actually, we see Quinn Smith just coming up in the back of that picture. Gonna be lapping these guys very soon. Well, Quinn Smith is a very bold driver. Let's just put it that way. Gentleman passing, okay, well, passing people in the pits. Nothing too relevant. Gage Gonzalez here. Got a 40-second gap to the car in front. That is of Jacob Padberg. And I'm not sure what the pit time is on this lap, but I think it is more than 40 seconds. Well, I would definitely assume so. It's probably more around the minute. I would love to see GT2 cars introduced into ACC. That would be my dream. I don't remember who said that to me, but someone said that to me a while back, and I thought that was sweet. Love to see some faster cars. But the 992 as well would be pretty cool. That way we don't just have, well, the same car in the Porsches, but yeah. Yeah, should is the key word. Okay, excuse me. GT2 has more power than GT3, but more downforce as well. My bad. Sorry, Eric. LMP cars would be... it'd be a bit much, I feel like, in this game, as the tracks aren't really designed for it. A lot of smaller circuits like the Hungaroring. And we see Jimmy, I'm not Jimmy there, is around. We can go back and see what happened there as we haven't seen too much action as of late. And doing what a lot of drivers have done so far. The car just turning and not wanting to go straight. As much as I would love to see LMP2 cars, that would be, like I say, just some of these tracks LMP2 cars would be miserable on. Like I say, the Hungaroring or Zandvoort LMP2s, yes. That doesn't sound awful at all. Ricky Scott here getting by Sarah Stant. Not sure what happened to Ricky Scott he came out of the pits. Okay. I'm gonna be passing Sarah Stant. Sarah Stant though is gonna be not too thrilled with the pass and trying to challenge back, but doesn't. Good. That was almost a bit of contact. But I am definitely going to be looking forward to seeing GT2s, assuming they actually do it. Ricardo Rivera? Huh? Ricardo Rivera sitting on a P25 yet to pit. I missed something? Oh yeah, I did miss something. Gage Gonzalez. I got him mixed up, the Puerto Rican esport racing clubs, my bad. Yeah, Zandvoort and GT3 is even that is, don't get me wrong, I love Zandvoort in GT4s. I love it. Like that track feels amazing in a GT4. But GT3s, yeah, they're a bit fast. And the corners come up quite quickly. And then when you're trying to focus on another car, the corners come up even quicker sometimes. Gage Gonzalez, they're struggling for grip. Padberg coming into the pits. Right? Yes. Okay. Faluna, yet to. And Quinn Smith as well. Oxborough with a stop-go 30, looking like he tried to find his own way to make this track. But, unfortunately, Stewart's not too thrilled with his lines. Giving him a stop-go 30. Probably for track limits in the 820 McLaren there. And I'm not Jimmy here, passing people in the pits. There's a lot of racing going on right now. I can confirm. As actually we see here, Padberg, I think, is going to be coming out with Gage Gonzalez. We'll see how he manages to come out of the pits here. Has he yet to stop? I think he is yet to stop. The pit lane is just that long on this lap. Yes. We see Aaron Kuhn still leading the field for the silver plate drivers. Marlowe yellow flag for no reason. Race control being helpful as always. Same with Cruz. I think we should see Ollie Raza maybe coming into a battle here fairly soon. No, not quite. He's going to be a ways down from Padberg. Okay. Gage Gonzalez up to third place now. After Padberg, pitting. Gage Gonzalez, our current pseudo leader of this race, I should say. I can't think of the word off the top of my head for some reason. But the NSX doing absolute wonders so far in the rain. Pirouetting and more, and still keeping that lead. Well, third place for right now. But once Quinn Smith and Faluna come into the pits here, we should see Gage Gonzalez taking the lead, as I think, no, Faluna's staying out even longer. 27 minutes left to go. We're an hour into this race. We started with 39 drivers. We're unfortunately down to 31 after lap 1. That was not the greatest lap 1. But we see Quinn Smith doing a very good job driving, putting in the fastest lap of the race last lap, quickly stolen by Gage Gonzalez. So these track conditions must be improving. All right, King CJ, have a good night, man. And hopefully you don't got to get up too early in the morning. Thank you for joining, though. Gage Gonzalez, as I said, taking that fastest lap. Who are the leaders now? Currently, Quinn Smith leading for the silver plates, or white plates. Then follow that Faluna, then Gage Gonzalez. And that's our current standing order. Then Aaron Kuhn, going to be leading the silver plates. Professor Kenotis, who has pit, going to be P13, second place for the silver plates. And then Sapien, going to be P14, third place. Chris Rise here going to be within snatching distance of Ricky Scott. Chris Rise, both of them have pit. That Audi looking like it's been through the dirt a couple times. As I don't think that's an Audi Quattro. I think that's an R10. R8? I don't remember. It's an Audi, you know. My brain's on other things right now. It's embarrassing that I don't remember that. Chasing down the McLaren, and we see Sapien, yellow flag on, I don't know why. No reason. It's, once again, race control being race control. And Quinn Smith still not quite lapping to the pace of Gage Gonzalez. So Gage Gonzalez will be, like I say, our leader of the race after those two leaders pit. But for now, we're looking at Chris Rise here in the Audi, who unfortunately doesn't look like he has the pace to chase down Ricky Scott. Gage Gonzalez, so far a masterclass of a drive with the NSX. Absolutely incredible. Pitting fairly early. Not sure if that made a difference in his strategy. Maybe took light fuel at the beginning and that's why he was so fast. Fueled up for a bit heavier afterwards. Who knows? As I would imagine the drivers did not start the race with full fuel. They probably sectioned it into two different stints. And actually here we see Ricardo Rivera, his teammate, overtaking, I think that was Elmer, and going to be right behind, not Mike Burkov, he's going to be right behind Marlowe. So Ricardo Rivera with some serious pace, but he is still yet to pit, unfortunately. His race looking like it's not going to have the best result. But his teammate, quite the contrary statement. So we can jump on board with him again. Looking like that rain getting a little lighter, as predictably it should have, with the weather conditions saying things are getting to be a little bit lighter. Not necessarily seen that thus far in the track conditions. Gage Gonzalez extremely brave on the brakes onto that racing line. Gonna not even hesitate, I would imagine, to lap Professor Kenotis here. Waits, Not through No Name. Professor Chronotis runs wide through No Name, and he's going to yield to Gage Gonzalez. Let him by. Through Puan. Very well composed. Almost looks like it isn't raining for him. But I assure you, it is. Gage Gonzalez, just that good of a driver. And we'll jump a bit more up as we see Quinn Smith coming into the pits. Maybe not most exciting one to jump on board with. And are we going to see Faluna doing the same thing? Nope. Faluna goes opposite. Might stay out for one more lap, but I think the longer he waits... I mean, I don't know. Oxborough with a stop-go 30. Hate to see it. Here we go. Here's a little bit of a scrap. Kenneth Smith and Sapien, both of them yet to pit. Going down the Kemmel straight here. No, where they're not. They're in the back sector of the track, getting ready to go through Puan. And being so cautious through that sector 3 is Kenneth Smith. Just waiting for any chance he can to get that overtake done. Lifting off extremely early. He doesn't seem like he wants to... He's not in too much of a hurry to get that overtake done. Which I don't blame him. Still 20 minutes left in this race. As we've seen before, 20 minutes, a lot can happen in a race, especially from the start. These positions starting to look a little bit more set in stone, though. Some drivers definitely showing their pace compared to others in these wet conditions. These conditions just so tricky to drive in. It's actually, it's insane. I mean, I can't emphasize enough. As we see here, just Kenneth Smith, like I say, feathering through Radion and Eau Rouge. I mean, he's in 5th gear with almost no revs. And he's still lifting off. I mean, it is, the grip level out there is almost none. Actually, Gage Gonzalez is catching Quinn Smith here. Quinn Smith came out in the lead. That's extremely impressive. So I'm not sure if they took alternate strategies or what happened there, but Quinn Smith is ahead of Gage Gonzalez on track right now. Yeah, exactly, Ando. Now, this is a very challenging track indeed, and conditions making it even more tricky. As we've seen so many drivers lose it in this race so far. I mean, I pretty much have lost count. Well, I have lost count of how many have spun because there has just been so many. Gage Gonzalez closing that delta down to Quinn Smith, though. But it is one thing to catch, and it's another thing to overtake. Spa, though, one of the easier tracks to overtake on if you have the pace to do it. But these wet conditions, as I said before, you go off the racing line, I mean, it could be as simple as that, and it puts you in the barrier. That very well could have been Shoots. That very well could have been, and that's why that delta is closing so quickly. But there, Gage Gonzalez pushing extremely hard, stepping out the rear end there around the final corner as he is chasing Gage Gonzalez. Gage Gonzalez, though, getting stuck in traffic, it looks like, right there. Engelman really hampering his progress. That's going to give Gage Gonzalez a massive edge here, assuming he doesn't get held up as well. Yes, indeed. The strength of the walls at Spa are quite, well, they're stronger than the cars. Let's just put it that way. Unfortunately, have met the barriers one or two times at this track, but we've seen plenty of drivers do that as well. And Gage Gonzalez is now not quite closing that gap down. He actually didn't get by Jet on the straight here. I was thinking that he would get by on the Kemmel straight, which would give him a really good opportunity on to Quinn Smith, but Jed Engelman just not moving out of the way, which he is not obliged to by any means. He is driving his own race, and he is fully allowed to. It is the responsibility of the faster car to overtake. And through Pouan here, he's going to have a look. Very ambitious. This could end in disaster. Gage Gonzalez, though, wants to get the hurry up. Doesn't want to lose any time to Quinn Smith. Faluna still yet to pit, surprisingly. Interesting. So 25 seconds to the leader as Faluna. Looking like the pit time was about 50 seconds, somewhere around there. I don't remember the gap exactly from Quinn Smith to Gage Gonzalez. But Quinn Smith with the pace right now to stay ahead. The NSX struggling to keep up with that Lexus power. Lexus, a very dominant car in the wet, but so is the Honda. Both cars very capable, and both drivers very capable as well. We'll hop on board here for the lap, why not, with Gage Gonzalez once again. As we can see, the vision not improved much since the start, at least when you're following people. Into turn one. Goes through LaSauce very well. Looking like he's going to have a bit of lap traffic, though, to go through on this. As we see up ahead Aaron Kuhn. Hopefully he runs into them at a decent time, but coming through the Eau Rouge and Radion complex. Downshift, heavy lift. Normally that corner is completely flat. Maybe with a slight lift, depending on the track and the car. We see Quinn Smith getting by Aaron Kuhn. Will Gage Gonzalez get by with ease here? Not quite. He's going to tuck to the inside into Ravage, and Aaron Kuhn lets him go. He now has a second and a half to catch Quinn Smith. And he is going to be pushing the wheels off of this Honda. As I don't think yes, he is pushing the wheels off that Honda, but hopefully not to a literal extent. Gage Gonzalez having a massive moment there, but saving it from the barrier. Best lap so far, Gage Gonzalez currently with a 2:32.2. That is what we're looking at. Gage Gonzalez with the fastest lap. He's lapping in the 2:33.6s right now, and Quinn Smith in the 2:33.7s. So Gage Gonzalez with the pace, but I don't think he has the pace to overtake. It's going to take a massive error here, I think, from Quinn Smith, and Quinn Smith has yet to show too many errors. And honestly, Gage Gonzalez with a drive-through. That is going to be devastating to him. And Quinn Smith looking like he is going to actually, assuming any massive mistakes, take this race, I would imagine. The 14 minutes left. Going to be very difficult to catch him. Closest behind is Marlowe with a 28-second gap, and that's to the car in front. Gage Gonzalez coming in the pits to take his drive-through right away. That is going to really hamper his progress. And yeah, that is extremely anticlimactic indeed. Bit down the field, we see Mike Burkov here chasing Smelly. Should be an exciting battle. A Ferrari chasing down a Honda. Looking like he wants to have a look around the outside of turn one. See if he can make anything of it. Oh, this is, I don't know if this is even like Monza. This is another level. This is insane. These conditions and these drivers. I mean, Gage Gonzalez, arguably one of the best drivers in the field here today, has a drive-through penalty. That means that absolutely anyone can get a drive-through penalty at any time with these 10 minutes left. A lot of them probably... Oh, about it being anticlimactic. Okay, fair. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Well, at least we won't finish under safety car. I can guarantee you we will finish under green flag conditions. Now, whether or not Quinn Smith has anyone challenging him in those green flag conditions is another story, as Marlowe currently lapping 233.6 and Quinn Smith lapping 233.7, so not quite the pace required to catch up. With a 30-second deficit in 10 minutes, he's going to have to make up 3 seconds a lap on Quinn Smith, and Quinn Smith currently lapping actually about a second faster than Marlowe will lap, 32.7 to 33.6, my bad. Oh, man. Yeah, that would have been, that'd be pretty funny, Ando. But that's good. Crisis averted. So I'm assuming you're faster than them in the dry than they are the wet. Respect. And Kenneth Smith here. Someone who's struggled with these wet conditions thus far. Chasing down Sapien. I feel like I've said that before in this race a couple times. And looks like Sapien's struggling for pace right now. AMG not quite cutting through the water as well as that Aston Martin is, it seems like. Gonna be going around the outside here, trying to take an alternate line. Doesn't look like he's gonna get anything done just yet, but I take that back. Sapien runs wide, gonna give the racing line to Kenneth Smith, and he's gonna have that position sealed before the corners even met. Lovely overtake from Kenneth Smith there. That is true. Astons are boats. But the Aston is a very good car, I will admit. It's a very good car in all conditions. AMG as well, a very good car in all conditions, and actually, that's Sarah Stant in the AMG there. Getting lapped by Kenneth Smith, and we saw a yellow flag from Cruz. Not sure what happened there. I wasn't fully paying attention, not gonna lie. Gage Gonzalez here, down in P4. Happened. Ollie Raza now ahead of him. Gage Gonzalez must have made a massive... Oh, with the drive-through penalty. Yes, of course. After the drive-through penalty, Gage Gonzalez dropping down to P4. Now 2.5 seconds behind Ollie Raza. Still with the fastest lap, 2:32.2. So he is lapping quite fast. You know, Ando, I wouldn't recommend driving all the cars personally. I would recommend picking a car that you like and sticking to it and learn how to drive it, develop a really nice setup with it, and then get fast with that. And then once you get bored of it, you can move on to another car that you might, want to have a little fun in. Driving multiple cars is useful. It teaches you a lot of things, but you got to becoming a jack of all trades and a master of none is not necessarily what you want to do in racing. A lot of these drivers, very talented though, and can drive pretty much any car on the grid. Quinn Smith, Gage Gonzalez. Yeah, that's not bad either, trying different cars on the same track. M4 is a good car, that's for sure. If you haven't, you should try the McLaren. That was the car that I clicked with the McLaren when I was newer. That car feels like it's locked on rails. It's good in all conditions. It's good on pretty much every track. It doesn't really have a bad track. But it does have a couple really good tracks. Yeah, you should try the McLaren 720. The 720 is very, very good. At least in my opinion. Some drivers will disagree. You see a little bit of side-by-side action up ahead there with with Raza and Cruz getting lapped. Cruz getting out of the way. Oh, wow, that's going to give Gonzalez an amazing chance here. The Porsche is a very tough animal to drive. That rear engine, I never have gotten that Porsche down. I don't know. Rear engine cars are not my thing, I guess. The Ferrari is really good. If you don't like the Ferrari, like I say, I think you should give the McLaren a try, because what I like to say is the McLaren is almost the Ferrari. It's just more controllable. It's a little bit slower, but it's way more locked down and consistent. But into the action here, I do want to commentate on this action here as we see Gage Gonzalez chasing down Ali Raza. Haven't seen too much action thus far, so... You trust me, you should, the McLaren, if you be aggressive with that thing, it rewards you. Sometimes with the wall, and that can be a reward, but a lot of the times, not. Like Brands Hatch, the McLaren, those are that's my favorite combination in this game. Gage Gonzalez off the track there with a massive moment, struggling to catch Ali Raza here. Wanting to make that third position back up after getting that drive-through penalty a few laps ago. Quinn Smith pulling out that lead even more so. Still 30 seconds ahead right now of Marlowe. But yeah, the Porsche is very aggressive. And you can be very aggressive with it. But the only problem is when the Porsche goes, it goes. It is not forgiving whatsoever. Like I said, the McLaren, it's like, it's nice. The McLaren it's a nice car. It's generous. It respects your feelings sometimes. Yeah, absolutely. Gage dropping to P4 after that with like I said, the longest pit stop on the track, and he's dropped right behind Ali Raza. But Ali Raza doing a good job so far of holding off the defense. It's going to be quite the push for Gage to get by, as I would imagine Gage's tires are not in the best of conditions. Ali Raza probably as well, but it's tougher to overtake on old tires than it is to defend. Yeah, Porsche is very similar. Oh, down the inside, Gage Gonzalez after that lap traffic getting in the way. But Ali Raza gonna cut that gap off, slam the doors shut. Gage Gonzalez trying for the switchback. Ali Raza covering off the switchback very nicely. Both of these drivers racing their hearts out right now for that P3, trying to secure that podium position. Through Rivage they go into No Name. Not too many laps are going to be left here. We see a 226 car there. Who is that? Of Smelly. Looking like they're stopped on track in the barrier. Not sure what happened there, but I want to stay with this action. Gage Gonzalez having a massive moment. Goes off the track. Ali Raza is going to have a little bit of breathing room now. Going to take Gage a minute to catch back up. Not sure if he has enough time to catch back up. These conditions just getting the best of everyone. Ali Raza, though, still can make a mistake. It's not out of the woods yet. Only 1.6 seconds, and Gage Gonzalez has shown that he can close that gap. He has the pace. It's just so hard to follow in these conditions. And yes, the Porsche yells at you for having feelings. Yes, absolutely. It's like the Lamborghini. The Lamborghini is a car that, you know, it's like, oh, you wanna drive me? Well, no. Too bad. That just might be a setting issue, Shoots. I'm not sure. I've never had... I mean, I don't know which wheel you have. That's the other thing. Could be wheel specific. I never had the best wheel when I was racing, so... But, I don't know. Like I said, the McLaren clicked for me. Everyone's different, though. And... how much time we got left here? We have 3 minutes left, so we will... Oh, that's right, Gage Gonzalez. So Gage Gonzalez is going to be starting his next lap. And that will be the final lap of the race soon. He's about halfway through Sector 2 right now. And we'll hop down here with I'm Not Jimmy, who actually has Quinn Smith, the leader, right behind him. And is as well chasing down Fallon. And Fallon chasing down, I think, Rocco? No, not quite. Never mind. That is I'm Not Jimmy to Fallon. I'm Not Jimmy there, going off and having a bit of a moment, but getting out of the way. I think he just is going to accept that he made a mistake, wants to get out of the way, and now is going to see maybe Fallon makes a mistake. He's going to tuck in behind Quinn Smith here and try to follow him through. Quinn Smith gets through this lap traffic, but Quinn Smith still has a minute, has a second to catch up to Fallon. Let's see if I'm Not Jimmy can stick with him for now. But that Lexus has been just looking so planted. Well, sometimes, until it doesn't, and then Quinn Smith drifts through the corner and makes it work. But that's just Smith things. Starting the final lap, Quinn Smith. I'm Not Jimmy right behind him, and 2 laps down. Fallon knowing what I'm Not Jimmy is up to, I think. Doesn't want to get out of the way for Quinn Smith necessarily, as that will put him right in the grips of I'm Not Jimmy. And he just wants to having a car in between them is very comfortable. Quinn Smith as well is not going to want to be pushing to the, well, 11th degree, as he is going to be on his final lap here, has an extremely comfortable 30-second gap to Marlowe. And doesn't necessarily want to blow that. And we see a Felion with a drive-through penalty down in P26. It's going to drop them back a few positions, I would imagine. Kuhn versus Engelman? It's a good question. Not even close. I mean, Engelman is about a second off Smelly. Is going to be overtaking, looking like he's going to re-overtake their position. Kuhn has a good advantage right now and is going to be... just has to keep it on track. It looks like Engelman is struggling for pace currently. But the main question here is Gage Gonzalez. He has one more lap to get by Ali Raza. Down the Kemmel Straight they go. There's not many overtaking opportunities left. So he's going to have to use the most out of what he has left. And thank you, Half Def, for the follow. Much appreciated. Oh, and Ali Raza runs wide there, but so does Gage Gonzalez. That would have been a good opportunity, but both of these drivers pushing to the absolute limit. Neither of them wanting to yield. Ali Raza wants that podium. So does Gage Gonzalez. Gage Gonzalez was leading this race at one point in time, but with a few mistakes, unfortunately, a bit of a spin. Ali Raza, though, has a moment, but Gage Gonzalez cannot capitalize through Puan. They are running out of corners. We see a car off the track of Professor Chronotis. Think he'll stay out of the way? Yes, he will. And into the final sector, they're about to go through the Fagnes, then the Stavelos. Quinn Smith securing pole position, securing first place. Marlowe going to be coming across the line fairly soon as well for P2. You can jump on with them for that. As unfortunately, I missed Quinn Smith, the leader, getting first place. Great job, Quinn Smith. Great drive. Managed to keep that on track for, well, I don't actually think he had too many moments at all. And now Marlowe coming across the line for a P2. Lovely drive indeed. Ollie Raza has a good gap to Gonzalez. I do not think Gage Gonzalez, this is his last corner to get it done. Going to be coming on to the start, finish straight, and Ollie Raza in the 30 Honda is going to be beat out the 13 Honda of Gage Gonzalez here for the podium. Behind that is going to be Faluna coming up in P5. Very challenging drive for all of these drivers. They are all just happy to see the line, I can imagine. Awesome little shoots. Thank you very much. And Raza P3 indeed. Padberg getting P6. William Kuhn going to be coming across the line here for P7. Fallon securing P8. I'm Not Jimmy. P9. Got Kuhn. In fact, here, let's get the... there it is. You can see as well. Kuhn P10. Engelman P11. P12's going to be given to Cronotis. P13. Smith. Cruz P14, Oxborough P15, Ricky Scott P16, Chris Rise P17, Sapien P18, Campbell P19, Andy Oak P20, and now drivers are leaving, so I'm gonna not be able to. Yeah, you guys saw. Now the positions are all out of whack. But as I said before, great drive from Marlowe, Quinn Smith, Marlowe, and Ollie Raza. And Marlowe very happy with the second place. It looks like. Doing some donuts in the Audi. Well deserved. We see now the final car coming across the line. Awesome race. Hope everyone has enjoyed that. See if we can get some interviews underway here. We got Chris Rise in the... Oh, Chris Rise. Okay, but then... Oh, also Aaron Kuhn winning out the silver plates. Followed up by Professor Cronotis, then Kenneth Smith. I should have probably said that as well. Oh, okay. So, let's do a little bit of this. Hello, Eric.
Hello.
Would you like to grab Quinn Smith, Marlowe, and Faluna? Was it?
No, Faluna was in fourth, I believe.
Oh, okay. Then,
I'll tell you in a second. Results. Is it possible it was Raza, maybe?
yes, it was. There you go. Yeah, Raza. Yeah. Spool's got us in chat as well. Yeah, and also he literally just said that in chat. I probably should have seen that.
Marlowe, I don't know where he is, but I'll grab the other two.
Marlowe, if you're in the chat, if you would like to join the Discord, that'd be sick. And we have Quinn Smith with me. Hi, Quinn Smith. How's it going?
Pretty good. Yourself?
Great. Great drive, dude. You kind of didn't really put a foot wrong.
Yeah, that was kind of the whole key there to the race was just keeping it clean, keeping it on track. Steady pace too. So I mean, worked out.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't even think you had too much racing, honestly. I think you more just, like I say, drove your race and then kind of just kept it. I mean, you were like probably one of the only drivers that didn't end up spinning or in the wall.
Yeah, anytime I got into a battle within, I don't know, first 45 minutes, I didn't really fight it too much. Wasn't worth it in my opinion. With it raining, anything can happen. Times 50, so it was just let them go, let them push their faster pace, and things fell my way for it.
You did have a bit of a moment that one time coming out of the Eau Rouge complex onto the Kemmel Straight where you almost put it into the barrier, but not quite. You kept it out of it, and I don't know if you remember that.
No, I was so focused on how the car was feeling. I wasn't paying attention, honestly, what I was doing.
It was one of the best saves I've ever seen, so
I'll have to go back and watch it.
yeah, it was quite the save. But we have Ollie Raza here for P3. Thank you, Quinn Smith. Ollie Raza, very interesting drive from you. I think that's a decent way of putting it. I don't know. How would you put it?
Yeah, it's a crazy race. Lots of ups and downs.
Yeah.
I was first place in the beginning after Gonzalez and Padberg spun out, and I was like, oh, maybe I could do this. And then I spun out, and then I don't know, a bunch of stuff happened, and I spun out again, and then I pitted slightly earlier. I undercut Padberg, which helped. But I think he had damage or something, so he kind of fall back in pace. And then I just drove a clean race until apparently I got up to third. And then at the end of the race, Gonzalez was coming up on me, so the last 10 minutes was kind of stressful, but I pulled it through in the end.
Yeah, and then unfortunately Gage with that drive-through penalty took him out of the running.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that drive-through, that was unfortunate, man.
But still, though, you had some really nice battles.
Yeah, with Gonzalez there, yeah, it was intense. We were pretty much on pace. I think he was a couple of tenths quicker than me, so I just had to make my car wide and not spin.
Yeah, and you did that mostly, only a couple times.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, glad to have the podium. It's tough competition here, man.
That was a tough race.
Yeah.
But thank you, Ollie, and hope you have a great night.
Yeah, thanks.
And Eric, do you have any other thing that you'd like to say, since I don't think we have the other podium sitter in here?
No, that was a really tough race.
Yeah, bit of a carnage on lap 1.
Yeah, I'm going back to look at who the culprits are so we could right these wrongs. As we've said multiple times, we're really trying to push for a very clean league, and not quite there yet. So I'm adamant about getting there, ensuring that everybody is giving more room as needed on lap 1.
Yeah, you cannot win the race on the first lap, but you certainly can lose it.
I just to shame our GT3 drivers. Our rookies on Mondays, who are like rookies, had cleaner races than you guys. So just think about that. So,
Yeah, just something to think about for next time. Hopefully we have a much cleaner race, but thanks everyone for joining. Oh, sorry, Eric.
No, that's it. We'll keep pushing for that. It's a primary goal here. I'm really focused on this for our leagues, and I'm really gonna drive this one home.
Well, you heard it here, folks. Don't crash into each other. Seems simple enough. But I just would like to thank everyone here tonight for joining us, and Eric as well for putting this on, and then all of our drivers for participating. And to everyone, just like to say have a good night and thanks.